In the headlines, PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar demands slight extension on new Naira notes deadline, says Nigerians discomforted. Protesters barricade Osun roads over tribunal judgment. Commissioner of Police convoy blocked. Speaker House of Assembly Gbajabiamila meets EU mission, says Nigeria set for free and fair elections. And on the foreign scene, President João Lourenço inaugurates Angola's satellite control center. Hello and welcome to Trust News Updates. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. And we begin with politics, where the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has called for a slight extension to the January 31st deadline given by the Central Bank of Nigeria for the swapping of the old Naira notes for the new ones in the nation's commercial banks. Atiku said the pain caused by this action is one not intended for the initiative. The former vice president, in a video titled "My Position on the CBN January 31st Deadline on the New Naira Notes" on his verified social media handles, expressed his view on the challenges faced by Nigerians in meeting up with the deadline announced by the country's apex bank. While applauding the monetary conversion policy as a worldwide practice, Atiku stressed that the deadline is unfit and should be slightly adjusted.
On this note, I am compelled to align my position with the upsurge of demands for a slight extension of the monetary conversion policy. The January 31st deadline is certainly going to cause heavy discomfort on our people, and it will be magnanimous on the part of government and the regulatory agency to ease the burden on the people in the public interest. While we can continue with sensitizing the public on the impending imperative of mobile banking policy, it is important for the CBN to consider an extension of the time that the public can convert their unbanked monies into new notes, thereby reducing the financial consequences on these vulnerable citizens. I believe that such a painful experience is not the intention behind the currency redesign initiative.
Nigerians might have to pay extra when withdrawing the new Naira notes from POS operators. The operators say they have added the extra charge because of how difficult it has been to get the new notes. Sagir Ibrahim reports.
For 5,000 they charge 100 naira, for 10,000 they charge 200 naira. But if you want new notes, for 5,000 they charge 200, for 10,000, so if they are collecting 500 for 10,000. Because if you want to get the new notes, you have to go to bank. When you go to the bank, and only 20k you can withdraw per day. That is why they charge this amount, because to get it is hard.
This is Yunusa, a POS operator who says he will keep accepting the old notes till 2 p.m. on January the 31st.
Up to tomorrow, when he brought the old Naira, I will just collect it.
So you know
I will stop it by Monday around 2. I will stop collecting because I will just walk to the bank.
Okay, so all the time you've been going to the bank, you've been accepting the money from you.
Yeah.
Have you encountered any challenge with accessing the bank to deposit your money?
If you want to withdraw that, you can first challenge there because they are not giving you cash on the counter until 31st.
He also says he hasn't experienced any challenge depositing his old notes.
Deposit, they can accept the money. There is no any challenges for deposit. If you want to carry like a 20 trillion, they will collect it.
Barely 3 days to expiration of the deadline set by the Central Bank of Nigeria for old Naira notes phase out, commercial banks in Abuja are running short of the new currency. Madia Umar reports that queues in different bank ATM points in the city center have little or no cash to dispense to customers.
As the January 31st deadline draws near, Abuja residents, including business owners, are becoming increasingly reluctant to accept the old Naira note, leaving many with no option but to go in search of the new Naira note. The residents who have reasons to seek the new notes in banks and ATMs say the search is difficult before the January 31st deadline.
Where is this in the world? Which offense did we committed?
Residents from the suburbs of Abuja who left their homes as early as 4 a.m. expressed their frustrations.
I left Zuba since 4 a.m. this morning because the information came yesterday that it's going to happen. So I decided to leave home as early as possible this morning. I first went to Gariki. I didn't see, even at the Zenith Bank there. Try all the possible bets at that Gariki. No one of them were dispensing.
The money issue is very annoying. Like serious, as I am like this, I'm having issue that I need to solve since last week. I could not be able to solve it because of there is no more cash. I have the money, but I can only collect just 20,000 naira. I need to be borrowing ATM. You can see I have more than that. I can bring it out. I have more than 5 that I went to go and borrow this money. Please, it's very annoying.
Like me now, since morning, the anger in me is too much. It's too much. I've been working around. I don't even get even 1 naira now to transfer go back home. I don't get that. I don't get anyone here as I'm talking to you. And I don't know whether before I go reach to the ATM, maybe they will say unable to dispense cash. So that is one of the problems we are facing again. No one is dispensing along this. What is this place? This tree. No native is dispensing. This is selling back.
When getting money from the ATM has been frustrating. You can see the crowd of people here, and we are not finding it very easy. Like me, I think I came the first time. I have to go back because of the crowd. The crowd actually scared me, so I have to go and come back. The same crowd I was trying to avoid, I still meet the same crowd. So it has not been easy for every one of us here. If the people in authority can actually shift the date for the masses, it will be a nice idea. You can see now most people have stopped collecting the old money.
The struggle for the new Naira notes in different ATM points in Abuja and environs is so real, as a lot of Nigerians are not happy about the development in the cash dispensation points. Now the question on everybody's lips is, will the January 31st deadline be a reality, as they have gone through a lot of struggles in order to meet up with exchanging old Naira notes with the new ones? Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Roads in Oshogbo and Ilesha were on Saturday blocked by protesters said to be displeased with the decision of the Election Petition Tribunal that sacked Senator Ademola Adeleke as governor. The protesters, who prevented vehicular movement along Oshogbo-Ikirun Road, also blocked Oshogbo Road to traffic and beat up many commercial motorcyclists that were operating in the town. At the Igbono area, the convoy of the State Commissioner of Police, Kehinde Longe, was stopped by some people believed to be members of the Transport Management Committee. An eyewitness who witnessed the incident said operatives that were in the convoy of the CP later cleared the barricade and moved on. When contacted for a reaction, Osun Police Command spokesperson Yemisi Okpalola said more men have been deployed to the identified spots where roads were blocked to traffic, adding that situation is under control. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, says the sacking of Governor Gboyega Oyetola by the Osun Elections Petition Tribunal is a phase in the struggle to liberate the state. The tribunal, in its judgment on Friday, held that the governorship election was characterized by overvoting, adding that after deducting the excessive votes, Gboyega Oyetola's figures rose to 314,921, while Adeleke's came down to 290,266. Led by Justice Tete Kume, the tribunal instructed the Independent National Electoral Commission to withdraw the certificate of return issued to Adeleke and his deputy, Kola Adewusi. It directed that the certificate of return be issued to Oyetola instead. But in a Friday statement, Atiku said he stands in solidarity with the people of Osun State, who overwhelmingly voted for the PDP and gave their mandate, to Governor Ademola Adeleke. The Supreme Court has dismissed an application for post-conviction bail brought by the senator representing Delta North, Peter Nwaboshi, who was jailed for 7 years on money laundering charges. While dismissing his application, a 5-member panel of the Apex Court noted that Nwaboshi's conduct was a slap to democracy and the rule of law. The panel added that despite the fact that Nwaboshi has an appeal pending before the court, his application could not be granted because of the undisputed fact that he is in Nigeria but has continued to devise means to frustrate the subsistent custodial sentence imposed on him by the Court of Appeal. The court subsequently dismissed his application, describing it as frivolous, vexatious, and irritating. The Court of Appeal Lagos Division had, in a judgment on July 1st last year, convicted and sentenced Nwaboshi on the charge brought against him by the EFCC. Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila on Friday in Abuja declared that Nigeria is ready for the upcoming 2023 general elections, despite rumors from some quarters that there will be a likely postponement due to insecurity in the country. The Speaker gave the assurance when he received a delegation of the International EU Election Observers Mission, who paid him a courtesy call in his office. He, however, conceded that there are some delays in the collection of permanent voter cards, but assured the visiting delegation that the INEC is working assiduously to ensure that the issues are resolved. On his part, the leader of the delegation, Barry Andrews, commended the Speaker on the role he played in guiding the electoral reform processes that culminated in the passage of the 2022 Electoral Reform Act.
Yet another election has come upon us, and I think we're prepared for it. I think those who are saddled with the responsibility of making sure that we conduct free, fair elections have done what they need to do, and starting from Mr. President to the National Assembly to the INEC officials. I want to believe that the buck now has to be passed on to the people themselves, who have to be vigilant and to make sure that their votes count.
But I'm delighted to lead the EU observation mission. This is our 7th mission, and we were delighted to respond to the invitation from the Nigerian government to carry out this mission with your cooperation, and we're delighted to be able to support Nigerian democracy in every way that we can to make our honest assessments.
Few weeks to national elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission says all modalities for smooth conduct of the elections have been put in place. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, said this in Abuja during a meeting with resident electoral commissioners from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. Noel Sampson reports.
The INEC chairman highlighted the level of the Commission's preparedness for the elections. He stated that all arrangements are made to make sure the country witness free, fair, and credible elections.
I am glad to report that movement of materials for the election to various locations nationwide is being concluded. The training of officials will commence shortly. Ongoing consultations with stakeholders will be intensified. Airlifting and delivery of sensitive materials to states of the Federation has gone far. Accreditation of national and international observers and the media is being finalized. Critical service providers in the area of transportation have reassured us of their commitment to efficient logistics for the movement of materials and personnel to various locations, while the security agencies have reaffirmed their readiness for the election.
Yakubu highlights some of the challenges the Commission is facing in the distribution of permanent voters' cards, but reassured Nigerians that additional measures will be taken to make sure everyone collects his or her privileges.
The Commission is encouraged by the determination of registered voters nationwide to collect their PVCs and the actual level of collection so far. For instance, in Lagos State, which has the highest number of registered voters in the country, the Commission delivered 940,200 PVCs from the recent voter registration exercise from June 2021 to July 2022 for both new registrants and request for transfer and replacement of cards. As at yesterday, Thursday, 26 January 2023, 839,720 PVCs have been collected, representing 89.3% of the total figure of the new cards. This meeting with REX will consider reports from other states of the Federation, and the Commission will not hesitate to consider additional measures to ensure that all citizens have ample opportunity to collect their PVCs ahead of the general election. We wish to assure Nigerians that the Commission will always be responsive to the needs of the electorate.
The Commission has been engaging critical stakeholders to fine-tune ways of conducting credible elections. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Ocean farmers trained on agricultural value chain. Do stay with us.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Created a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secured are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Already, if you look at English squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Trust News Update, a recap of our major stories. We told you that PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar demands slight extension on new Naira notes deadline, says Nigerians discomforted. We also told you that protesters barricade Osun roads over tribunal judgment, Commissioner of Police convoy blocked. Moving to security, police in Katsina State have arrested 8 suspects for mischief during President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to the state. Buhari was in the state on a 2-day visit where he commissioned several projects. But the spokesman of the Katsina Police Command, Gambo Isa, on Friday explained that after the president commissioned the Kofar Kaura underpass and 2 other projects, the police got information that some miscreants known as Kauraye from Sabwar Ungwa quarters were fighting at the Kofar Kaura area and took advantage of the crowd to steal phones and other valuables. Meanwhile, the police command has debunked claims that President Buhari was stoned and booed during the visit. Gambo's statement on Friday was in a reaction to what he described as doctored videos circulating online that the Nigerian leader was booed by a crowd when he was commissioning the Kofar Kaura underpass bridge in the state capital on Thursday. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Pantamion, says Nigeria will attain full broadband connectivity 3 years ahead of its 2025 targets. The minister revealed the projection at a press briefing to outline the achievements of the Ministry of Communications under the Buhari administration. Chamunda Beng reports.
The number of Nigerians living in unserved areas declined from 33.7 million in 2015 to 31.6 million in 2019. The mandate of the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy is to ensure that Nigeria reaches 90% broadband connectivity by 2025. The minister believes the target will be met way ahead of time.
His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to engage independent consultants to evaluate the performance of each and every ministry and its parastatal and all our sectors of the economy.
But are Nigerians really happy with the services they receive?
The tariff is high now, and I'm not satisfied with this kind of services I get. At times, you're calling, they will just tell you that your credit is finished. Meanwhile, it will still be remaining at times. And then I put data, a month data. After 3 days, I'm seeing that I can no longer browse again or do anything about it.
We spend a lot, but it's so disappointing sometimes because we are not getting what we are paying for. Issues of bank transfer, sometimes even normal making calls. Like somebody just called me now that he tried my number, it's not going. Well, my number is already on. These are the issues.
The cost of making calls or maybe communicating is very expensive or exorbitant. Obviously, nowadays that, job are not forthcoming, you understand? But even that you pay through your nose, it shouldn't be like that.
Equally worrisome to Nigerians is the current internet infrastructure, which may stall plans by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to transit Nigeria to a cashless economy.
They will start, but maybe like 30%, 20 to 30% they will achieve, but the remaining, it will be difficult.
60% trust, understand, can be given to that. But it all depends on the mechanism that has been put in place to ensure that this particular policy that is being embarked upon will become fruitful, understand.
I don't think we will meet up to the standard on a serious note because of poor network services in Nigeria.
However, the minister explains that the cause of poor connectivity is the improper energy flow. Pantami explained that even the ministry is using over 3,000 generators to keep things moving.
As part of moves to address food insecurity and reduce food wastage, selected farmers have been trained on agricultural value chain. The training also focused on building the capacity of agri-food vendors in the country through knowledge transfer. Hamid Oyegbade has the report.
Agribusiness is the combination of agriculture and business. This combination gives rise to farming-related commercial activities, which involves all steps required in the production, processing, and the distribution of agricultural goods to the markets. Over the years, most farmers work hard but earn little due to lack of requisite knowledge of business angle. Such instances often discourage youths from venturing into farming. In order to change the narrative, the Department of Agricultural Economics at the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, is training selected farmers as well as postgraduate and undergraduate students of the university on profitable farming.
I plant yam, I plant cassava, I plant everything, I plant plantain. Everything they just spoil. Person they no feedback well.
We are trying as much as possible to ensure that food security is done here in the university, and then we extend it to our community and then to the state.
To improve their food package production such that they can export and they generate more revenue.
The participants said the knowledge they acquired from the training will give rise to innovations in agribusiness. They promised to extend the knowledge to other farmers.
From this program, I'll be able to learn about agribusinesses and agri-food business and how we can find solutions to the problems that agribusinesses face in today's world.
With this project, it will help me to like make more practical on my own aspect of project. But personally, I'm working on the effect of contract farming.
So I've learned that agriculture is not only about cutlass and hoes, and we can also go into processing and packaging.
The new agribusiness idea is expected to enhance an improved supply of food via e-platforms and enable farmers to maximize their gains. Amit Ojegbade reporting for Trust TV from Ile-Ife.
And finally, on the foreign scene, Angolan President João Lourenço on Friday inaugurated the country's first satellite control center aimed at monitoring the activity of the satellite named ANGOSAT-2. The southern African country had in October launched the main satellites with the help of Russia, and the inauguration took place at Funda area with Luanda, the capital city of Angola, and fully equipped with technical and technological means. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.